Hello, my fellow subjects of the internet out there. This is the Aromantic Shipper back again with yet another video. Doing a review of Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts, which is a way too long title that I watched in 2022, and I'm going to be talking about it. So, by the way, I will not really be holding back on spoilers. I mean, I'll try to be general when talking about this show, but I'm probably going to mention some kind of spoilers, so just beware of that in this review. But anyway, so yeah, Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts is a show that I watched this year, and it's just something that some people were talking about it. It got pretty good reviews, so I thought I'd check it out. It's a show on Netflix, and so yeah. Anyway, so if I had to describe Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts, it would be that it's sort of like a cross between Adventure Time, Steven Universe, and the Boondocks, which is a very interesting combination. But it's got a lot of Adventure Time vibes. Like, it's this weird, crazy, post-apocalypse type of show. It sort of has Steven Universe vibes too, where it's all about understanding differences and trying to reach people through conversation rather than fighting. And it's got some Boondocks energy too, with the cast is pretty much mainly black, with the character of Wolf giving me major Huey Freeman vibes, from the Boondocks show with her personality and stuff. But yeah, I mean, very strange combination, but I think it works. So this show, it was good. I liked it, and I probably would recommend it to people who like good cartoon shows and stuff. The animation and the environments in Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts are very well done. It was animated by Studio Mir, after all, which, Studio Mir is just a really great studio. I haven't really seen them put out anything bad or mediocre before. Legend of Korra, of course, great show. It was animated amazingly by Studio Mir. Voltron Legendary Defender, not as great of a show, but it was still animated very well by Studio Mir. And yes, Kipo is the same. It's has pretty good animation, and some action sequences are actually really good and really energetic. Especially, I think, in season 1, where I think the animation was probably at its peak, and it just had. I don't know, I just feel the animation is bad in seasons 2 and 3, but it just didn't have that same wow factor that I think some of the scenes in season 1 did. But anyway, in regards to the series, one of the things that is you should know about Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts is that it has a pretty up-tempo pace. It has very fast pacing. It can be jarring sometimes, but I think it works pretty well for the most part. It just constantly, keeps things moving and going, and there isn't a ton of breaks in the narrative, at least in seasons 1 and 2. For the first 2 seasons of the show, they really keep the momentum of the story going really well, as well as the characters, they're living in this post-apocalyptic world, so they're kind of constantly in danger. So of being captured and stuff. So that sort of leads to a lot of excitement throughout the show in the first 2 seasons. And but again, I think the fast pacing works a lot of the time, but some scenes for me can kind of go too fast for me, where it doesn't really give time to take everything in. So that is one small issue I have, I guess. But anyway, so it's not that. It's not that bad. I also really like the world of Kipo. It's really fun, and while also feeling dangerous as well, which is a pretty good combination. And there are a bunch of really fun and also funny ideas that are, and that the series has, and all these mutants that are introduced that are all very unique and really cool and really fun. And for example, the Lumbercats and the Snake Musicians. It's just really weird out there concepts like that are really cool in the series. I also, in regards to the characters of the series, I definitely like the characters. Kipo is a pretty good protagonist. She's upbeat and quirky and likable. And, I like that. One of the things that I did like about Kipo is that I like that she, does try to solve things through non-violent methods. Again, like I was saying, the show is a little bit like Steven Universe in that way. But at the same time, Kipo, also isn't, totally a pacifist or anything. She does resort to violence when she feels like, she needs to, and isn't like that naive. And like some of the moments I found in this show were actually really cool, and really funny with Kipo. Like, for example, where basically, Kipo, she obviously learns. Sorry, I guess I should warn about spoilers. Kipo warns. Kipo basically finds out about the fact that she is, part mute, and that she has the ability to transform into this giant mega mute jaguar beast thing, I guess. And basically, you would think that when she would find out about this, that she would be freaking out and stuff. But when she realized that she can turn into a giant monster, she's like, "Oh wow, that's awesome!" Like, I don't know, that just really kind of I don't know. I thought that was really cool and humorous moment where it sort of shows how again, she's not she finds that sort of stuff impressive and good for her that she's able to do that, and that she's able to have that kind of power. So I don't know. I feel like that was sort of one of the aspects that I liked about her, and that she wasn't totally no, we should never use violence at all. We should just always talk things out with our enemies. I did like that. And also the season 2 finale, where basically she tries to one of the things that I like about that is that she was basically trying to convince, again, spoilers, but I have to talk about it. So she was basically trying to convince the main villain Scarlemagne to of that season, Scarlemagne, to basically change his ways and try to be reformed and stuff, and it didn't work. And then she actually had a backup plan that she implemented in case of that didn't work. So it shows that she is more practical than she lets on, where she does understand what the stakes are, and even though she wants to talk things out and solve them non-violently, she does have this sense of, okay, well, if that doesn't work, then we might have to try this other way. So I did like that about her. I think that she's a pretty good protagonist. Yeah, so I definitely like Kipo. Anyway, so in regards to some other characters, Benson is also pretty cool. I liked Benson a lot. I think he's a really great character. His general, go with the flow, cool under pressure attitude was a really good addition to the series. I think Benson, he struck a very good balance of, he has reasonable street smarts, but he also has lighthearted optimism as well, which I think made me, like him a lot, and he was a really good companion to Kipo throughout the series. Wolf, who is, Kipo's, the first person Kipo meets on the surface. I think Wolf's a good character too. She's basically, like I was saying before, she's basically the Huey Freeman of the group, where she's very no-nonsense, incredibly skeptical and pessimistic of people's intentions. And, I liked her. I mean, she was, I don't know if she's my favorite character, but I still did think she was pretty interesting. Her backstory is, actually pretty fucked up. The fact that she was, again, spoilers, raised by this pack of wolves to be eaten by them, that's, oh my gosh. I don't know. I mean, you can definitely see how she got to where she is, where, she has this mentality of closing everyone off from her. And, seeing her open up and change over time was really satisfying. So, yeah, I really like Wolf. Dave, I guess, is the fourth main character of the group, the main four core, and he's a character I'm really split on, because a lot of the time it feels like Dave is just on screen to be comic relief and not really contribute much except when it's convenient. He has this whole gimmick where he's a mute or mutant, I guess. Mute is what the show calls him, but anyway, so he has this whole gimmick where he basically changes the age he is, all the time, where he will go from a teenager to a baby to an adult to an old man, and I don't know, it just sort of can feel like it's sort of just there to be convenient when it's convenient, and be useless when it's convenient for it to be useless. And it just, I don't know, it feels like it feels like a plot device, basically, Dave's sort of ability to be useful or to not be useful. And again, a lot of his screen time, I feel like, is just devoted to him being comic relief and not being, super important. I mean, Dave can be funny sometimes. I did get laughs from him at some points in the series, for sure. But also sometimes I don't laugh at his jokes. So it's it's sort of, half and half. I kind of think he's good sometimes and not as good other times. Speaking of the humor, this show. Speaking of the humor, I guess I should talk about that. This show can definitely be funny when it wants to. I mean, like, I don't really think there were. I don't know. I don't really think there were that many jokes in the series that were unfunny necessarily. Like, I mean, there were a few, but like, it's just like the comedy isn't usually laugh out loud funny, I would say. I mean, like, to me, the funniest episode of the series was actually Requiem for a Dave, which, like, ironically, Requiem for a Dave sort of bothered me throughout a lot of it, because it just felt like more Dave filler, and especially, so close to the end of the series. But then, like, the more the flashback kept going in that episode, like, and the more ridiculous it became, and, like, especially when it's revealed what the point Dave was trying to make is, like, I don't know, it's just that episode, by the end of it, really just made me crack up at how, everything was set up in it, and how, like, it came to fruition by the end of the flashback. So I don't know, I just found that kind of funny, and that would be an example of I have my notes here in my iPad, but anyway, but yeah, that was an example of one aspect of Dave that I actually kind of liked in that episode, Requiem for Dave. But anyway, so in terms of yeah, I found that pretty funny. But yeah, anyway, in terms of other characters, there's of course there's the villain for the first 2 seasons of the show, which is Scarlemagne, Scarlemagne is not only a very entertaining villain, but like he has all these really funny, like hilarious moments. Like, for example, I think it was episode 1 of season 2, where he basically went to Ratland and like messed everything up because he didn't like how it was this sort of neutral ground between humans and mutes, and the rats there were basically like, "You haven't paid the entrance fee, Scarlemagne," and he was like, "And I never will." It's like, I don't know, it's just, moments like that just really crack me up with Scarlemagne, how he's like is so over the top with stuff like that. But anyway, not only a very entertaining villain, but also a really great character Scarlemagne is. I mean, like, seeing his backstory in season 2 and how it was tied in with Kipo and her parents was really well done and emotional, and like it made, honestly, for me, it made season 2 the best season for sure. I mean, like, along with season 2 also had really great pacing and a lot of cool reveals about the story. So I would definitely say season 2 is my favorite of the 3 seasons. But anyway, in terms of other characters, like I said before, I really like a lot of mutes that are, introduced throughout the story. They're really fun. They have great personalities. And they have very standout personalities with, designs that are unique and really entertaining. I have a lot more mixed reaction to the human characters in this series, like outside of, obviously, the 3 main humans in the group. I mean, like, obviously, Kipo's parents are great. They're really cool, and, there are some other funny, entertaining human characters in the series, but, like, a lot of them I found to be kind of boring, the human characters. Like, for example, so Troy, who's introduced at the end of season 1, who is Benson's boyfriend, like, I cannot think of a single defining character trait he has. Like, I can't. He's so boring. I mean, like, I don't know. Like, it's just, like, and a lot of, like, the 2 friends that hang around Troy as well, like, those 2, like, I can't remember almost a single thing about them either. I mean, like, it's just, like, I don't know, it's just, like, some of the humans are just, like, very dull and uninteresting, and I just, like, was put to sleep whenever they are on screen. I don't know, it's just, like, so I feel like some of the human characters are definitely not very well developed or well, personified in the series, so that's just me. But I mean, I guess you should talk about Dr. Amelia too, who is the final villain of the series, and she's good. It's logical that she would be the final villain with her hatred of mutes and wanting to revert all of them to, sorry, spoilers, revert all of them back to regular animals. And like, I don't know, she's just not quite as good as Scarlemagne. I feel like she doesn't really have the same presence. I mean, like, in general, I think season 3 is kind of weaker than season 2. Like, it doesn't have the same, season 3 doesn't have the same, like, sense of forward progression that season 2 did. Like, it feels more episodic than the first 2 seasons, where, some stuff that is in it doesn't really amount to much in the end. Like, for example, the Death Ivy, which is a whole plot point, and then, like, it ultimately amounts to nothing in the end. And then the anti-cure vaccine, which doesn't, again, like, they bring it up and try to, like, try to create it, then it doesn't amount to anything in the end. So I mean, like, that's sort of some issues that I have with season 3. Another issue I have with season 3 though is like it's set up as one of the issues that I have with season 3 is that like the conflict that is set up at the end of it, like where it's this final showdown, mutes versus humans. How will the conflict be resolved? And like it's a logical. It's a logical ending of the conflict that has been set up in the series. But my issue with it is that like it's actually a very small scale conflict between a group of mutes and humans in a much larger world. Like it is implied that this mutification of society is basically going on around the entire world. And then at the end of season 3, it's portrayed as this like it's portrayed as this like conflict to decide the fate of the world, when like there should be a lot of other like human underground burrows or societies in the world other than just this society that has been discovered in this one area. And there are a lot of mutes outside of this one area, and yet Dr. Amelia is just focused on like curing these mutes specifically, which I don't really get it. It's just like I don't know, it just felt like it was needlessly small. I mean, I get it. You have 10 episodes left in the series. You have to wrap it up. But like, I don't know. For me, in terms of like scale, it really feels like this is just like I don't know. It just feels like it didn't really have the same satisfying punch that it did, because it's just like it is a very small scale story that isn't like this. Shouldn't really be like this world altering event of what's going on. So that is one issue I have with season 3. I would say, like, in fact, there are a lot of things. One of the things that bothers me is that there are kind of a lot of things left unaddressed by the end of the story. Like, for example, like, how did the world actually get to the point of the apocalypse, and where did all the mutants come from? I mean, in Adventure Time they explain this, but like not in Kipo. I mean, like, I guess that's not the point in the story. It doesn't matter how things started, but like I don't know. It was something I wanted answers to. So, and I just feel like kind of left down by the end that it didn't really answer anything about that. Overall, in terms of Kipo's ending, I would say the ending was generally pretty satisfying and felt earned. Like, I also liked that, I liked the place where the series ended. I thought it was, pretty adequate, the ending of Kipo. Like, I also really liked that there was some real stakes and drama in the final season, where characters do, actually, like, kind of, quote-unquote, die. I mean, like, it's not really dying, but it also kind of is dying, because like the demutagenic process that results from Dr. Amelia's cure, like it's like it turns these living sentient creatures into like unintelligent animals, and that's like kind of a form of death, because it's like taking away their consciousness. So that was I don't know, it's kind of messed up, and I do like that the mutagenic process for the characters that are cured and turned back into regular animals, it's not reversed in the end. And also like Dr. Amelia is also not redeemed in the end. She just like spends the rest of her life being imprisoned by that Fun Gus character. And like I don't know, I mean I sort of like that there were real actual stakes and real legitimate consequences to the actions that are taken in season 3. So that's I like that. I mean, I feel like some of the shows might kind of reverse that stuff, but Kipo didn't. So I mean, like I sort of respect that. I will say though that Scarlemagne's quote unquote death really didn't hit as hard as it should have been, because of how anticlimactic it felt. Like I remember when I first watched Scarlemagne's death. Shoot, did I forget to? Well, you knew I was gonna spoil some stuff, so it's on you for watching this long. But anyway, I should have warned. But anyway, so yeah, talking about Scarlemagne's death, spoilers, I guess. But yeah, anyway, so when I first watched it in the finale, like I swore I missed something. Like I just didn't like I just wasn't paying attention to what happened or something, because like I didn't remember Scarlemagne getting any serious injuries in the battle against Dr. Amelia. But like no, he literally just got into a car crash off screen and died while not accomplishing really a ton in the end. I mean, like it just was not handled well at all, and it just was really not satisfying, Scarlemagne's death. I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just like that was just really not handled well in the finale at all. I mean, like I don't know. So Anyway, so basically that's what I have to say about Kipo and the Age of Wonderbeasts. I don't think this show, like, I like the show, as I said before, but I don't think it made, like, a huge impact on me. Because, like, I know for a lot of people it's different. Because, like, a lot of people really like this show. They really like Kipo. And, like, but for me, like, I think it's good. I do like it. And if you have the time, it's not super long. It's only 30 episodes, and you should check it out. But for me, it's a good show, for sure. But it's just not like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. I loved it so much. It's like, I liked it. It's a good show. But, it's a good show. So that's basically what I have to say about Kipo and the Wonderbeasts. That's what I thought about it. Check it out if you feel like it. And post comments down below if you have anything to say about the show. This has been the Aromantic Shipper. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And as always, remember, just because you can't feel love doesn't mean you shouldn't want other people to. Bye.